$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud.
President Trump listing just some of the wasteful government spending found by the Department of Government Efficiency. An Obama-appointed federal judge has now rejected the Democrat-led effort to block DOGE's access to government data, also blocking them from firing federal employees as well, all things the Democrats are trying to stop. DOGE so far has identified a savings of more than $55 billion. Elon Musk floating the idea of a DOGE dividend to Trump, which would give taxpayers a $5,000 check funded by DOGE's savings. The White House, meanwhile, clarifying Elon Musk's role in all of this, stating in a court filing that Elon Musk is not part of DOGE and is instead a White House advisor. Trump and Musk discussed working together last night on Hannity. Watch.
So he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
but he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
Yeah. I actually am tech support, though. But
he gets it done. He's a leader.
I mean, I haven't asked the president for anything ever.
And if it comes up, how will you handle it?
Well,
he won't be involved.
Yeah, I'll recuse myself if it is.
If there's a conflict, he won't be involved.
Joining me now is North Carolina Congressman, House Budget Committee member Tim Moore. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. What's your reaction to
Thanks, Maria. Good to be with you.
Your reaction to President Trump and Elon Musk last night?
Well, I think the president nailed it exactly correct. I mean, can you imagine one of the smartest individuals in our country's history, very successful, done so much for space exploration, for electric vehicles, and he's volunteering his time to come in and help the government improve efficiencies. Can you name a CEO of a corporation from large to small that would not, just be thrilled to have someone of this caliber come in and offer to assist? And I think it just shows the president's commitment to trying to identify the best talent out there to turn this country around. And, I think it finally made it clear, about the special advisor role. I'm applauding his efforts with the president.
Well, it's pretty incredible, the numbers that we're actually seeing now as DOGE has identified all of this wasteful spending. How does this happen? You just have automatic checks going out?
That's one of the questions that I have. I'm a new member of Congress, and one of the questions that I'm asking is, how did this mess even happen in the first place? I'd helped write state budgets in North Carolina for 14 years. And one of the easiest things to do is to look for waste, fraud, and abuse. Sometimes it's difficult to find it, though. And it's great that this group is really digging in with a lot of new technology to find it. Yeah. I've heard some data out there as well that there's $4 trillion that they don't know where it went. I mean, it's shocking how much money is being wasted. Yeah. And with the amount of money that's taken from Americans in taxes, we owe it to them. We owe it to the American taxpayer to make sure every dollar is spent wisely. Yeah. And so I think it's a great opportunity we have right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the Biden administration. This has been going on years. Automatic checks going out to groups and places that, in retrospect, you have to rethink. Why would we ever do that? Meanwhile, let's talk about President Trump's new threats of tariffs on the imports of cars, drugs, and semiconductor chips. Watch this.
Have you decided specifically what the auto tariff rate should be?
Yeah, I probably will tell you that on April 2nd, but it'll be in the neighborhood of 25%.
What about semiconductors and pharmaceuticals?
It'll be 25% and higher, and it'll go very substantially higher over a course of a year. But we want to give them time to come in because, as you know, when they come into the United States and they have their plant or factory here, there is no tariff.
Congressman, your thoughts on these tariffs and the impact on the economy?
Well, first, on a broader picture, I do think it's important that there's a focus on America producing more goods than we do. We produce, of course, a lot. We are the economic powerhouse of the world. But there's a lot of things that we've moved offshore and that we rely on other countries. Your previous segment talked, for example, about semiconductors. And we need to make sure we're expanding as much domestic production as we can. because from a national security standpoint, you don't want to be in a position where your enemies particularly can hold you hostage. But I think the tariffs are a way to signal that the United States is tired of being dealt with unfair trade policies. You know, the other side of it that some in the media don't want to talk about are the high tariffs that other countries already charge the United States from everything from produce to commodities to, automobiles, motorcycles were mentioned, aircraft, you name it.
Yeah.
And so I think, insisting on fair trade is very important.
Yeah, sure. And that's what the president keeps reiterating. Where are you and your colleagues on the budget issue? Senate Majority Leader John Thune announced a vote this week on the Senate's $345 billion budget resolution to boost border security and the military. But this bill is competing with the House's plan to cover all of the president's agenda items in one big bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson posted this on X. The House budget resolution implements President Trump's full America First agenda, not just parts of it, with promises to come back later for the rest. We remain laser focused on sending our bill to President Trump's desk to secure the border, keep taxes low, restore American energy dominance, strengthen America's military, and make government work better for all Americans. Congressman, do you feel you have the votes for this big bill?
I believe that we do. And I will tell you that the House leadership is doing a great job of getting buy-in from all of the various segments of the conference. And if you look at the House proposal to deal with all of these issues, I think that is extremely important. Yes, we need to make sure we're extending the tax cuts, that we're securing the border, that we're making America energy independent. But we also need to rein in this out-of-control spending, things that DOGE has identified. And the best way to do this is to do this in one bill, get this passed into law, get these things moving immediately. Because if we can turn these things around, Maria, if we can rein in this spending and lower taxes, it's going to spur this economy like it's never been spurred before.
Well, how are
and
you
so the one bill approach works.
How are you reining in the spending if, in fact, we're talking about spending more on defense, spending more on the border? Where are the offsets?
Right. Well, there have been figures thrown around up to $2 trillion that can be identified in waste, fraud, and abuse. And so there's been a very careful look to make sure that we're not, hurting people who need help. But look, when we are sending payments for, you name it, for Medicare or anything else outside the country, when we're paying for coverage for people who are in the country illegally, that is wrong. And so those are the things that are going to, we believe, identify a lot of waste that's out there. And so we're getting this data almost in real time in some cases. But what's really troubling is the question that I'm asking as a new guy: why hasn't someone done this before?
Yeah.
Why somebody watching what's going out the door? I mean, I don't get it sometimes.
Of course. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Great to be with you.
All right, we'll be watching your work. Tim Moore joining us.